Today's headlines. 150 solons welcome Sara at Batasan Complex. EU regulator says J&J Covid vaccine can be used as booster. Congress ratifies 5.024 trillion peso budget. WHO sees unprecedented Omicron spread. Bongo lauds OFW department creation. Catholic faithful attending Simbang Gabi in person. Regions gear up ahead of Typhoon Odette. Good morning, I'm Roy Pelovelio and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is December 16, 2021. And here are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. Around 150 lawmakers on Wednesday warmly welcomed Vice Presidential aspirant Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio during her visit to the Batasan Complex in Quezon City. In a message to Daily Tribune, House Deputy Speaker Bernadette Herrera said Speaker Lord Alan Velasco invited Duterte Carpio to be the special guest for their Christmas lunch. When asked how was the reception of the lawmakers to Duterte Carpio, Herrera said it was, quote-unquote, very warm. Majority Leader Martin Romualdez, Albay Representative Joey Salceda, Samar Rep. Edgar Sarmiento, Pampanga Rep. Juan Miguel Arroyo, Diwa Party List Rep. Michael Aglipay, Ambis OWA Party List Representative Sharon Garin, Juan Pacman Party List Representative Michael Romero, and Bataan Representative Geraldine Roman were among the lawmakers who attended the gathering. Duterte Carpio left the complex at around 2:30 p.m. to lead the inauguration of Lakas CMD headquarters in Mandaluyong City. She was joined by former President and Lakas CMD Chairman Emeritus Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Romualdez, and hugpong ng Pagbabago President Claude Bautista. Senatorial aspirant Harry Roque and Ilocos Norte congressional aspirant Sandro Marcos were also present in the event. In a video message, Duterte Carpio thanked her allies and supporters for supporting the inauguration of her headquarters. The European Medicines Agency said Wednesday that Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine can be used as a booster shot 2 months after the first dose was administered. European Medicines Agency Human Medicines Committee, or CHMP, has concluded that a booster dose of COVID-19 vaccine Janssen may be considered at least 2 months after the first dose in people aged 18 years and above, the watchdog said in a statement using the vaccine's commercial name. Both chambers of Congress on Wednesday ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the proposed 5.024 trillion national budget for 2022. This means that the 2022 General Appropriations Act, or GAA, is one step closer to being a law, as it would now be transmitted to President Rodrigo Duterte for his review and signature. Senator Sani Angara, chairperson of the Senate Finance Committee and head of the Senate contingent in the Bicameral Conference Committee, said the budget remains geared towards enhancing the country's health system, including the pandemic response. It comes after the BICAM upheld the 20 billion to 30 billion increase in the budget of the Department of Health from its proposed allocation under the 2022 National Expenditure Program to fund the special risk allowance and other benefits of healthcare workers and the country's purchase of booster shots of COVID-19 vaccines, among others. He also disclosed that the Department of Education remains the agency with the lion's share of the 5.024 trillion peso budget in preparation for the resumption of face-to-face classes in the country next year. The Duterte administration's anti-insurgency task force, meanwhile, would receive 17 billion pesos after the wide discussion of its allocation for next year. The approved appropriation for the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or NTF-ALCAC, is 6 billion peso higher than its previous budget proposed in the Senate, amounting to 10.8 billion. It initially received a measly 4 billion peso under the Chamber's version of the General Appropriations Act, but was adjusted due to the appeal of Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Boto Mo To Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat makabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula. Tuloy-tuloy lang, Bong.
Boto Mo To Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. The World Health Organization, or WHO, has warned that Omicron variant was spreading at an unprecedented rate and urged countries to act, as drug maker Pfizer said its coronavirus pill was effective against the variant. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus told reporters the strain had been reported in 77 countries and probably spread to most nations undetected at a rate we have not seen with any previous variant. Omicron now accounts for around 3% of cases in the United States, a figure that is expected to rise rapidly as has been seen in other countries. The WHO on Tuesday provided room for cautious optimism, saying Africa had recorded a massive rise in cases over the past week, but a lower number of deaths compared with previous waves. The warning came as Pfizer has said that clinical trials of its COVID pill reduced hospital admissions and deaths among at-risk people by almost 90%. Chief Executive Albert Bourla called the news a game changer and said he expected approval from the U.S. medicines regulator as early this month. A real-world study from South Africa has showed 2 doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was 70% effective in stopping severe illness from Omicron. Senator and member of the Senate Committee on Labor, Christopher Bong lauded the passage on the third and final reading in the Senate of a bill which, if signed into law, will establish the Department of Migrant Workers. In a speech, Go, who authored and co-sponsored the measure, thanked his colleagues for voting 20-0 in favor of Senate Bill 2234. Go commended other senators who supported the bill, while lamenting the situation in many OFW face just to support their families, which is made even worse by the COVID-19 pandemic. Go hopes that by establishing a separate department for OFW, their most crucial problems will be addressed, and most important services will be timely delivered to our modern-day heroes. The senator earlier pointed out that the bill has been a long time coming, as it is one of the legislative measures certified urgent by President Rodrigo Duterte. The proposed department will absorb the functions and mandates of the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration and shall be the primary agency under the executive branch tasked to protect the rights and promote the welfare of OFWs. The department shall formulate and implement policies, undertake systems for regulating and monitoring the overseas employment of Filipino workers and reintegration of OFW, while taking into consideration the national development programs formulated by the National Economic and Development Authority. Go then stressed that the department is part of the legacy of not just the Duterte administration, but also of the current Congress. For the first time in almost 2 years of the pandemic, the country's Catholic faithful look forward to attending Simbang Gabi, not just on their phones or laptops, although online services continue, but back in church itself. The Simbang Gabi is a 9-day novena of early morning masses, usually at 4 a.m. from 16 to 24 December in anticipation of Christmas Day. Originally called Misa de Gallo, the tradition of Simbang Gabi is said to have started in 1668 during the Spanish colonial period, when friars agreed to hold pre-dawn masses for Filipino farmers before they went to work in the fields. The Simbang Gabi is celebrated in honor of the Blessed Virgin Mary. But Pope Sixtus V later added the following intentions: glorification and exaltation of the Holy Mother Church, propagation of the Holy Catholic faith, and preservation of the newly baptized natives in true faith. Today in the Philippines, the Simbang Gabi is held for the perseverance of the Filipino nation in the faith and the preservation of our holy religion in this part of the world. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama. Katribu, hanap mo ba ay food to satisfy your cravings, essential products o ano paman? Sagot ka namin dito sa tindahan ni Tarsi. Halina't tuklasin, kilalanin at alamin ang kwento sa likod ng iba't ibang produkto at negosyo mula sa ating Pinoy local entrepreneurs na tiyak papatok sa'yo. Samahan natin si Tarsi simula November 16 na mapapanood sa programang gising na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Mga katribu, tara na't makiisa at matuto sa mga public service programs hatid ng Kalingang Katribu. Tuwing Lunes, nandyan ang usapang business na magbibigay tips at inspirasyon sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs kasama sina Pompi Manalo at Vernon Velasco. Tuwing Miyerkules, usapang pangkalusugan naman ang tatalakayin ni Miss Cory Quirino sa Health and Wellness. At tuwing Biyernes naman, kung legal advice ang kailangan mo, sagot ka na ng Legal Diaries kasama si Elmer Navarro Manuel at mga guest lawyers. Lahat ng yan mapapanood tuwing alas 3:30 ng hapon sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Fun and inspiring na kwentuhan? Sagot na yan ng programang Spotlight ng Daily Tribune. Makipagkwentuhan at kilalanin ng iba't ibang personalidad na kilala sa kani-kanilang larangan. Manood at makinig sa mga inspiring stories na kanilang ibabahagi kasama si Nina Ventura at Jojo Silvestre. Be ready ready ng mamangha at matuwa every Thursday alas 2 ng hapon dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Samahan sina Daniel at Alvin na pag-usapan ang mga relevant topic na tiyak kakarelatean nyo mga katribu. At pagdating ng Sunday at 7 p.m., Speak Your Mind with our I Speak program na sasagot sa mga tanong regarding the latest and relevant issues sa paligid natin. I-like at i-follow nyo ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube para updated ka sa mga latest episode namin mga katribu.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Christmas saya, pagsama-sama.
You're still watching Tribune News on Q. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council announced on Wednesday that evacuations are already being carried out in parts of Western Visayas, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, and Caraga region ahead of the expected landfall of Typhoon Odette. NDRRMC Executive Director Ricardo Halad disclosed that regional units of the Office of Civil Defense or OCD are presently monitoring those preemptive evacuations and holding pre-disaster risk assessment meetings. The storm is expected to bring heavy rains that may cause floods and landslides as well as destructive winds, so evacuations were recommended, and the NDRRMC has also placed its operations center under red alert so it can better coordinate with regional arms and respond to possible calls for assistance. Current forecasts by State Weather Bureau, Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA indicates that the typhoon may make its first landfall either in Caraga or Eastern Visayas today. Meantime, Ronald Anthony Briol, OCD Caraga spokesperson, said preemptive evacuations had already started in Dinagat Islands and Surigao del Norte. The towns in Central and South Cebu will likely be hit by Odette, according to PAGASA, and due to this, the Cebu City government decided to postpone several events and activities this week. There are 150 areas in 49 barangays in Cebu City, which will be closely monitored for possible flash flood and landslide. Meantime, the Department of Transportation, Secretary Arthur Tugade, has ordered all concerned agencies and facilities of the agency to be ready for Tropical Storm Odette, which is expected to affect many parts of the Visayas and Mindanao. That wraps up our stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Araneta City, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Roy Pelovelio on Tribune News on Q. Reminding you that we only have 9 days left before Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android. to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.